actually enjoy THCA and use it quite often, and there are a lot of other people who just aren't really fans of it. But check this clip out because it'll sort of explain how it relates to some of the other compounds that you may be familiar with.
A little something out there that is taking over the United States right now. It's called THCA. And it's gotten already off the rip just a bad reputation because of everything that's come before it, right? But if this is the one thing that you can take away from this video, right, you can click off in 30 seconds. This is the one thing that you have to know about this shit, right? Everything, all of these other cannabinoids that came before that we were getting pushed on, like Delta 8 and Delta 10 and THCV and O and THCP, all of those other ones were, for the most part, man-made. Maybe sometimes they naturally occurred in the cannabis plant, but for the most part it was manipulated hemp packs and manipulated CBD packs and just a bunch of manipulated shit so that it could be sold in stores, right? Kind of played with a little bit, tampered with, scientifically modified, if you will. And it kind of produced the same effects. Some people loved it, and it slowly started getting banned everywhere. And then recently, I want to say in the past year, maybe, let's say the past year, THCA has hit the scene. And immediately right off the bat, if you're a smart individual, you're like, well, those other stuff weren't the best thing ever, so this one might not be the best thing ever either, which is, you know, that's not the worst assumption ever. But the big thing is THCA, unlike being a product loophole, is just a testing loophole. It's not a modified product. At least for the most part, it's not. And that's where it gets into like a little bit of like muddy, hazy waters and everything.
Clearly, it's a lot of muddy, hazy waters when it comes to THCA, especially if you're burning it, consuming it, and converting it to straight up THC. You can definitely find yourself in trouble. And to that end, there have been situations where people have been consuming THCA, which they bought legally, and next thing they know, police run upon them and they're getting put in handcuffs. And that's exactly what happened right here.
And Casey, how can officers know the difference?
Well, short answer is there's no way to tell the difference, at least by looking at it. Drug dogs can't even sniff out the difference because both plants contain THC. And that's why CMPD officers brought samples to this crime lab behind me to test to find out exactly what they were. But experts say the type of test that chemists performed here delivered flawed results. Christina Pierre and Anthony Lee claim they were smoking legal hemp at a bus stop on West Arrowwood in November when police approached them.
Oh, it smells like you're smoking weed. Oh, this is stuff from the store. It's not in the store. It's THCA. You're smoking weed? You guys smoking weed? It's coming from the store. Well, I can smell it coming from that.
The officers proceeded to arrest Lee, and Pierre interfered, causing a massive police response, a viral video, and now a suspended police officer.
The substance that they were in possession of was certainly illegal marijuana. It was at a level much higher than anything you'll get in buying hemp or anything with THC at a store that sells it legally.
Lab results from CMPD's crime lab show the substances tested positive for marijuana THC. But hemp lawyer Rod Kite says the lab used a gas chromatography test, creating flawed results.
What the lab did that tested this particular sample is it actually created illegal marijuana from legal hemp. In other words, it created the very compound that it was looking for. And in creating that, it then determined that this was illegal marijuana, even though it was only illegal marijuana because the test created it.
Kite says the high-performance liquid chromatography test can detect legal hemp from illegal marijuana. But it's fairly new, more costly, and most departments are not using it.
However, now that hemp is legal, the test has to be different because now legal forms of cannabis, what we call hemp under the law, can contain THC. And so it's important that the test properly measure the amount of THC in a sample to determine whether or not it's legal.
When it comes to handling legal hemp flowers like what you see here, Chief Jennings says officers assume anything that smells like weed is weed until proven otherwise.
If we don't want officers to address misdemeanor marijuana use, then make it legal.
Now, from what we've seen in some of the episodes that we've covered so far across different states, there are people who are mislabeling, just straight up calling something THCA when they know it's not. But there's also a lot of confusion when it comes to the understanding of what exactly THCA is, how it converts to THC, and whether it's in fact legal or not. Now, despite all that confusion, there's still a lot of potential when it comes to this particular topic. In fact, when it comes to the hemp versus marijuana debate,